They called it Project Genesis, a virus engineered not just to kill, but to rewrite. Humanity's greatest minds had designed it as the ultimate weapon, a microscopic scalpel that could slice through alien DNA and rewrite it like corrupted code. The goal was audacious, terrifying, and brilliant. When the invading alien horde emerged from the void, their bodies impervious to bullets, plasma, and conventional bioweapons, humanity's survival hinged on something deeper, something microscopic, something viral. The virus was a masterpiece of genetic hacking. It targeted alien DNA with surgical precision, dismantling their cellular instructions and replacing them with sequences adapted from human genetic patterns. Theoretically, this would unravel their physiology, turn their bodies into human-hosted biological puzzles, corrupt their very existence from the inside out. At first, it worked. On the front lines, alien soldiers fell one by one, their bodies melting into grotesque parodies of human forms. Faces twisted in horror as alien limbs contorted. Skin peeled away, revealing veins that pulsed with unnatural colors, and eyes that once burned with alien fire dimmed into something painfully human. Soldiers whispered the virus as the rewrite, a lethal miracle. The tide turned. The invaders faltered. Humanity roared with a savage triumph. But victory always has its price. Deep in the sterile, humming labs beneath Earth's last military stronghold, Dr. Lena Marquez stared at the latest reports. The virus was mutating, not in the aliens, in humans. The first cases were dismissed as anomalies, soldiers exposed on the battlefield, their symptoms subtle at first. A twitch here, a patch of skin that refused to heal there. Then came the nightmares. Personnel who awoke screaming, their DNA rewritten in fragments, blurring the line between human and alien. But the military buried the incidents. To admit the virus could leap back into human hosts meant unraveling the entire strategy. Lena's data was damning. The virus's rewrite mechanism was unselective at the molecular level. A tiny misfire, a single crossover in the biochemical sequence, and human DNA was rewritten with alien genes. The virus was rewriting humans into monsters, not aliens, but something worse, something unknown. The mutated soldiers were first to vanish. No records, no bodies recovered. The official line was that they died in action, lost to the chaos of war. But Lena knew the truth. They didn't die. They became infected with a new kind of horror, something unpredictable, primal, and utterly alien. Lena begged for containment protocols, for a ceasefire to study the virus before it was too late. But her warnings echoed through cold corridors of bureaucracy and fear. The military brass had tasted victory. They would not let it go. One night, while alone in the lab, Lena's terminal flickered with an incoming transmission. It was from the frontline command. The quarantine zones had been breached. The virus had spread beyond the infected. Now, entire squads were transforming, their bodies distorted into shifting amalgams of human and alien DNA, limbs stretching in impossible ways, skin rippling like living shadows. They weren't soldiers anymore. They were nightmares given flesh. She watched a live feed from a combat drone. The camera's infrared filtered through a squad of soldiers now unrecognizable. One collapsed, convulsing violently. His mouth stretched wide, splitting his face as new mandibles formed. His eyes multiplied, glowing with a sickly green hue. Others tried to flee, but their bodies betrayed them. Limbs bent backwards, spines cracked audibly, and a chorus of inhuman screams filled the radio feed before the signal cut. Lena's heart hammered. The virus was no longer a weapon. It was a plague, a contagion of rewriting, a genetic reaper reshaping humanity from within. Desperation clawed at her. She initiated emergency lockdowns, but it was too late. The virus had gone airborne in the quarantine zone. It was spreading through the ventilation systems, through infected blood spilled on the floor, through contaminated gear. The infected were not zombies. They were evolving. Their minds flickered with alien cognition, a new intelligence bleeding into human consciousness. Some showed flashes of memory from their former selves, but the virus was rewriting those too, erasing identity with a cruel precision. Lena's own hands trembled as she scanned her genome. Her blood work revealed a faint, alien sequence nesting inside her DNA. A whisper of the rewrite. She was infected, but unlike the others, she was still herself. For now, the virus inside her was changing her, but she fought it with everything she had. Every cell a battleground between human will and alien code. She could feel the alien strands trying to override her mind, whispering in a language she couldn't understand, promising power and transcendence if she just gave in. But Lena was human. She knew fear, pain, and loss. She knew the taste of desperation and the sting of betrayal. And she knew one thing above all. Humanity did not submit. With trembling resolve, she accessed a final contingency plan, a genetic override sequencer designed to scramble the virus's rewrite function and restore human DNA patterns. It was a Hail Mary gambit. If it failed, she risked becoming a creature worse than death, an irreversible fusion of man and alien. Time slipped away like sand. Outside the lab, screams echoed, metal groaned under the strain of unknown forces, and the virus advanced. Her fingers danced over the controls, launching the sequencer's code into her bloodstream via a nanobot delivery system. The sensation was immediate. Inside her cells, the alien strands writhed and screamed, locked in a microscopic war. Her vision blurred. Memories flickered like broken film reels. She saw herself, before the war, before the virus. She saw a child's laughter, a mother's touch, a brother's face. But then darkness. When she awoke, everything was silent. The lab was a ruin. The ventilation system was shredded. The screens flickered with static. Her body felt different, lighter, sharper. Her skin glowed faintly under the sterile lights, her senses heightened beyond human limits. But the virus was gone. The rewrite had been stopped. She was still human. And yet, she was not. The nanobots had done more than fight the virus. They had rewritten her DNA with new sequences. Human sequences improved, evolved, adapted. Her body was a synthesis of human resilience and alien adaptability. Lena was humanity's next step, a living testament to their will to survive. But then, she saw it, a shadow in the corner of the ruined lab, a reflection that didn't belong to her, eyes that gleamed not with human fear, but with alien intelligence. She was not alone. The virus had rewritten her. But in doing so, it had unlocked something else, something deeper and darker, a hidden code buried in alien DNA, a sentence that whispered from the abyss. The war was not over. It had only just begun. And humanity? Humanity would rise. But the price was written in her blood. Because somewhere inside her, beneath the layers of human and alien code, something was waiting. Something that would not rest until it had fully rewritten the story of life itself. And the last thing Lena felt before the darkness took her was the cold certainty that she was no longer entirely human. She was a weapon, but more terrifyingly, she was becoming a virus. The virus that would write the future in blood. And humanity's greatest horror was yet to come.